sorry, I can like hear myself. Like
Is your
do you have like headphones on or anything?
I can, sure. Um
I thought
oh
because
shoot.
I thought
Actually,
I turned off.
hope they
I
work. Yeah, your feed has been a little bit kind of pixelated, but I don't know if that's I don't know what my
because I have echo cancellation on. See, that's better. Yeah, there we go. It's gone.
everything good?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
Absolutely.
cool. Okay, cool. I'll take a note for 11. Fix that. Yeah, it's supposed to have echo cancellation on, so I shouldn't be able to hear any of that stuff. But yeah, it was, and I should
Oh,
have
okay.
followed through, but it was distracting me. Keith Andrews, he's taken over. Obviously, the team is going to have their struggles, uh, like you mentioned earlier, losing Mbomo, losing Wisa. Your attacking your squad has to really figure out who's going to make up a good chunk of your scoring. And for the most part, you figured it out. Like, shout out to Igor. He really has stepped up. He's been surprisingly lethal. And you can tell that he still needs to kind of like find his calm, but also this is his first chance of becoming the guy. So you're gonna expect that.
Right.
Kevin Schade, you can see the talent in him. But again, like that's actually just what it is with this team. Schade had to kind of sit in the back while the other two guys did their thing. Now these are chances of Schade, of Tiago. Unfortunately, Carvalho, you lost him. Yeah, that's
All right.
unfortunate because he is a really good player, but he does seem to struggle with injuries. But like Otara, like all of these players, this is their chance to kind of establish themselves. And what I like about it, they're all 23, 24, 25.
Yeah.
And Diago's situation, yeah, 24. Depending on how they do, I mean, it'll be a situation very much like Wisa and stuff like that, where hopefully you can get 2, 3 seasons out of them. Maybe you guys can get to a place where you can consistently challenge for European competition, whether that's Conference League or Europa or something like that, and might be able to retain some players. Again, you're in London, like it's other teams you have to obviously battle against for attention, but it does help being in London. So that's like a that I think that always helps somehow, some way. But Keith, he's a young dude. Are you how sold on are you on him? Like, do you? That's I guess what I should be asking. I'm beating around the bush.
Yeah, I mean, I'm halfway there with him. I mean, the reason why we retained him, from his set piece duties is just his familiarity with the roster and being able to have kind of that working relationship already in place. That's really important to us, and that's probably the biggest reason why he got the main job. So I think from in terms of having somebody from a continuity standpoint, he made a lot of sense in that regard, and he is kind of following some of Thomas Frank's playbook, which is important in terms of making that transition. But as far as him delivering, I mean, it's kind of gone actually the way I thought it was going to go early on. A lot of highs and lows, and we have not had a stretch where we've been like consistent for like about 2 3 weeks or something like that. Like we did have a little bit of a stretch, like around where we had that Liverpool win. I mean that was a pretty good stretch of a few games where we were doing well, but um, he I guess where he leaves me flat is our approach on the road is just horrendous. And which I mean, you could say that with Thomas Frank's era a little bit too. Like go just even last season. I mean, I recall we were pretty lethal at home and struggled on the road. But the road struggles this season are so much worse. We have not shown much creativity, and unfortunately, we're one of those types of teams that's just reliant on counterattacking and relying on Michael Coyote's throw-ins. I mean, that seems to be like one of our best modes of attack, and you can't endure a full season just hoping that Coyote's going to have like 7, 8 long throw-ins in a game, and we happen to get a couple of them in the back of the net. That's just not, you're not playing the odds too well when it comes to that. So I don't know what the answer is though, as far as like our road struggles or anything. We just look like a totally different team, and uh, I think Keith he's kind of struggling to find the right balance of things. This past week, um, I mean, we had like Arsenal midweek, and then we had Spurs Saturday. So he basically threw out a reserve team against Arsenal. They're top of the table, and I guess the odds are better that we're going to get something out of Spurs versus Arsenal. There's no question about that. But he changed half of the lineup, and so you would assume like everybody would be well rested and in sync for Tottenham, and that was not the case whatsoever. I mean, the Arsenal performance actually ended up being more impressive with our backups. So it's those kind of situations I think he has to get a better handle on things. Look, I mean, he's got a tough job in terms of how to manage his guys, especially through a season that has these kind of games in between. But I don't know. He leaves me every now and then. I question, going with a roster like that, or leaving somebody in too long and not making a valuable substitution. I mean, you can say that in a lot of regards. Like there have been some games with Kevin Shada, he just looks completely out of it by his 65th, 70th minute, but he sticks with them. And so he has his favorites. Keith does. We're still trying to figure him out a little bit in terms of what he sees in these situations, but it's a lot of ups and downs, and he hasn't quite figured it out yet. And quite frankly, as fans, we haven't figured him out. So it's just going to be one of those seasons, I think, where you just kind of have to take it in, and we're going to have some really poor performances, but on the flip side, we've been pretty lethal at home, and that we're just kind of riding on that with the hopes of that being enough to keep us fairly comfortably mid-table or so. And so far that's working out. So yeah, Keith doesn't really have a great grade in my book just yet, but hopefully in the coming month or so, maybe things will look a little bit stronger. But at the moment, it's very all over the place right now.
Yeah, and after City, you do have a pretty tough run of games still, though. Like I mean, you're away at Wolves, so there's a W for you.
You
But
would hope so.
yes, yes,
That's gonna. We've got our eyes on that as being. We don't want Wolves to get their first win against us,
yeah,
and like I said before, about our road play. I just have no confidence in us right now. That Wolves game really terrifies me right now. We
wow,
don't want to be the first team to give them a
give them a
win, and I do not have much confidence in that game. I hate saying that. I just hate saying that.
I bet it's Wolves. And yeah, then you face Bournemouth and Tottenham. Those are home, but then you go on the road to Everton and then welcome in
Yeah.
Sunderland. So those are definitely gonna be some tough games. They
Yeah.
are clubs that if you play right, you couldn't beat them. Like Bournemouth, they are a talented squad, but they are fallible. And the whole talk about Semenyo possibly leaving in January, I'm sure that's going to be super loud because that's the last game before the transfer window opens. So it will be interesting to
Okay.
see if Semenyo even plays that match, considering he's tied to City, he's tied to Arsenal, he's tied to a few clubs. And then naturally you'll be able to get your lick back against Tottenham. How was that? How was seeing Thomas Frank managing another side? Were you really wanting to win that match?
Well, of course. I mean, I think Keith making all those decisions midweek and playing like all of our backups. I mean, he was basically putting. I
On the
mean, he
front
put it
foot.
right out there. Just say,
Yeah,
yeah, like I mean, you're kind of going all in for the Tottenham game,
yeah,
and
that's tough.
I understand that to some extent. To at least like rest certain guys, but to rest like half the team and then to perform the way we did, yeah, it was a big letdown. So yeah, it is what it is, though. I don't know. The hype was kind of cool heading into it, but once the game got going and we just played so poorly, I mean, I